Looks like we're up and running. That's good. All right, first thing I'm gonna do, let me show you what I mean by refine these trees a little bit. In a watercolor painting, you kind of don't want your lines to show that much up from your pencil drawing, or show up that much from your pencil drawing. And if you can make them disappear, you always want to try to make them disappear. There are times where you do a drawing that's really detailed and all you want is what's called a watercolor wash over it, and you want the drawing to show through, but this is not one of those times, and it's generally not something that you would do. So just get my green. I need it to be pretty dark. I'll show you where I'm going to go with it. Just using the very tip of my brush, I'm going to come along the bottom edge of my trees. Just put a little green on that bottom edge. I might even come up just a little bit. This is mostly just to get rid of that line that's down there. Now on this one, the background would have offset it, but on these two, they're down inside the snow area, and so that's as dark as that background's going to get. I want to do the same thing on those. And what that does, that gets rid of that line in there. That pencil makes it more painterly than just a pencil line going through there. Give me a second to get that outlined. And we'll do something with that nose. Crystal, you shut that door. I noticed on my tree too, there's this little spot right there that I should probably go in. You can either do this with your pencil or you can do it with your brush. Put a little round ball on the top of his hat. I'll bring that up close so you can see that little teeny round ball on top. And it's just a circle or something similar to a circle. Doesn't have to be perfect. We just need a guideline there so that when we take a little light blue and shade in the bottom part of it, we have kind of a border to go around. So I'm going to come in here, go around the bottom. Just a light blue. leave that alone. A little too much water on it. Now, I know a lot of students struggle with coming up with kind of like a skin color. And that's what we're going to need for that little nose. To do that, we're going to just use a little bit of brown. I'm going to just mix it up a light brown. But I don't want to go straight brown because that isn't going to give me the skin color I want. So I'm going to get just a drop of orange, put in there. Okay, that gets more of a flesh color. And then I'm going to just take a teeny bit of yellow, put in there. That lightens it up even more. It's more like a light peach color. I'm going to add a little bit more water to it, lighten it up. Try it on my test paper. And that's kind of what I'm going for, kind of a skin color there. It's really important that you use the brown in there with a little bit of orange and yellow. Don't just go straight brown. Come along the bottom of the nose right now. A little shadow on the bottom, then lightly, just a thin line over the top. I'm going to take just a little bit of red and mix with that skin color that I just made. Get kind of a light pink. I'm going to come along that bottom edge with that. And so you can kind of see what it looks like. Leaving just a little tiny shine on it. Like I say, if you got a little behind today, that's fine because you're going to have some chance to catch up today. Because once we do the background, after that, it's either catch up time or work on something else. So, and that can even be work on homework from another class if you need to. I'm going to back it off now and bring it way up so you can see all of it. This is the part we've been kind of working towards, is to get this dark background on here. We're going to do a bluish black in the background. I'm going to have to mix up quite a bit. Before I do that, if there's anybody that needs blue, or are you out of blue? If you're out of blue, you need to come back. Here, I had some here. Where did I put it? Remember where I put it. I'll give you some. There it is. So if you need blue, come back and get it from me. If you don't, we'll just move on. Yep. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is just get a ton of blue up here. We're going to go fairly dark with it. I need quite a lot of this mixed up. So far I'm just putting blue up there. I haven't added any black to it yet. You'll notice it's taking up quite a bit of that upper part of my tray, because all this white up here is going to go this blue-black, so we need quite a bit. This isn't the time to have just a little bit like that sitting there. That is not going to get it done. Now that I've got quite a bit of blue mixed up there, I'm just going to get a little bit of black, and the black's just to darken it slightly. I don't want it to overpower it. Let's put a little bit of black in there. And that creates what's called a Payne's gray, which is a bluish black. I still want a little more blue in that, so I'm going to add some more. I'm going to do it by putting it over here and then bringing it into it. So when I put it on my test paper, even though it looks pure black, when I put it on the test paper, you can see that it's actually not black. I mean, if you look right here, it looks black. It goes on the test paper, not black. Kind of a blue-black. That's what we're shooting for. I still don't think that's enough, so I'm going to make a little bit more. And this is going to be a little trickier because we got to go around trees and around the subject and different things. That's where it gets a little bit trickier. We're just going to do our best. So I'm going to turn my paper sideways, and I'm going to work from here and come down. That's why I can paint in and out of stuff instead of trying to go this way and run the risk of having my hand rub over the stuff I've painted. If I go this way, my hand's over here, not on my painting. So the first thing I'm going to do is just do it by sections. I'm going to come in here with just some water right here. I'm going to take it up close to the tree, but not right to the tree. But I will go all the way to the edge. Come down near the snow down here. Bring a little water over that way. Now I'm going to have to go kind of fast here because I'm trying to stay ahead of this drying. Now I'm going to come in here and come in with my bluish black here. I'll be really careful when I get to the edge where the snow is at and the edge where the tree is at. do want this to be fairly dark. If it's not fairly dark, when we go to put the snowflakes and stuff on, they won't show up. By putting the water on there, it bleeds out a little bit. Not everything's perfectly even. There's light spots and dark spots, and I want that. Okay? I don't want it to be all just perfectly the same color in the background. I want it to be kind of lights and darks and variations back there. I don't want any white in the background. Light's okay here and there, but no white. Okay, so it gives it kind of a blurry, stormy look. That's what we're shooting for right there, just like that on the screen. Then I'm just going to kind of work my way across. I've got that part done. I'm going to do this part between the tree and my little gnome. Again, I don't go right to the tree with the water, because I want the watercolor to go right to the tree and then bleed away from it, not towards it. That's why I don't get that part wet, right next to the tree. Then I come in with that darker and go dark right next to the tree. This also eliminates our lines around the tree. It makes it paint instead of pencil lines. You do have to move kind of quickly through this, so you don't end up having paintbrush strokes everywhere. You don't want paintbrush strokes, you just want paint, if that makes sense. Notice I'm coming in after the fact now and putting some darker areas in, so it's not all just the same in the background. Said I want it to vary, lights and darks. It needs to look stormy. I'm going to move fairly quickly along here because I'm trying to avoid any hard edges in the background. That whole sky needs to look kind of soft. So again, as you're going around the little gnome, you don't go right to it, you go near it. Same with the tree. Just kind of taking it a section at a time. And it's also not a time to be real timid with the water either when you put that water on there at first, because you do want this stuff to bleed all over the place, except on your gnome and on your trees. You don't want to bleed in there. I'd rather you go a little too dark in your background than be a little too light. I mixed up all that paint and I still didn't have enough, so I'm going to have to mix up some more. Okay, so when you're done, you got kind of that really stormy, dark background on there. We are just gonna let that dry now.